is good form, and their tools that they've got up there, and with Hosey and also Reynolds, who's a former Port Magpie himself, playing with Glenelg, they should have too much firepower for the Magpies.
Yeah, so they need to get the very best out of their top half dozen players, Port Adelaide. Just wonder if they'll run a clamp on Jack Trengove. He's just averaging 37 disposals, as we mentioned. Is his name engraved on that McGarry medal yet? But leading the Digital Pass Player of the Year with 15 votes, and then Zane Kirkwood, Lewis Johnson the next best on 11. So he's having a wonderful year. I don't know, maybe Aaron Joseph might run with him, and that could be something that they could do to shut down his effectiveness.
The other player I'm really looking forward to watching today, Michael, is Todd Marshall. I think this guy's going to be one of the superstars of the game in 3 or 4 years once he puts on a bit more size. We've seen him already dominate at the SANFL level, get a couple of opportunities at the next level, but as he develops over the next few years, look out for Todd Marshall, because he's just a natural forward.
Of course, this game brought to you by Hamilton Holden. They are the proud supporters of Glenelg Football Club. Hamilton Holden celebrating 30 years in business. Hamilton Holden, your Holden dealer at the Bay.
We should congratulate too Peter Laddams, who's played some great SANFL footy, got his opportunity yesterday, so he won't be with us today.
Kicked a beautiful goal too, Peter Laddams, his first in AFL football in his first game, so that was terrific. Here it goes, Partington, big swoosh kick by Sutcliffe of Port, and maybe a free kick is coming back. It might be going to Trengove for a little nudge in the back.
Yeah, and Agnew was applied the tackle. He may even have the job on him.
So inside 50, thump came from Joseph. Snook just got it high, and sitting and waiting for it and taking the mark was Edwards.
He's going to play in the ruck today, Michael. He's a bit undersized. He's listed at 192, so just over 6'3" in the old.
So he's young. He's got a bit of spring in his step. Speaking of that, maybe a free kick, and that could be Woodcock, is it?
I think it is. And he had his eyes for the ball, and the Glenelg player took his run. So the umpire said that it was a push in the front, and it'll be a free kick. So first shot on goal to Boyd Woodcock, who played in the Premiership last year for the Roosters.
Very exciting. Kicked a few goals too, and bobbed up all the time. And just in his early days as a Magpie, or as a Port Adelaide Power listed player. With the bright orange wheels on to get the scoring underway. Nice looking kick.
That's all right.
Holds its line, fades a bit to the right, but the Magpies draw first blood at ACH Group Stadium, and they get it underway. Nice goal to Boyd Woodcock.
Yeah, and for the Tigers, just a couple of undisciplined acts there. 2 free kicks given away, one against Agnew, and that one there looked like it was, not sure who that might have been, Aaron Joseph, who gave the free kick away to Boyd Woodcock, and he finished truly at the northern end of the ground. We think the breeze, Michael, might be going that way, but when you look at it, some of the flags around the ground, it's a bit of a swirling sort of breeze, so should be able to kick goals to both ends.
7th goal on the season for Boyd Woodcock. Back in the middle. Up they go. White knocked it down. Partington kicked, smothered by Drew. Now Partington again. Thumped away by Bonner. Here's a foot race. McBean gets there. Little kick off the ground. Maybe another one here. Handball. Snook. Partington again. Bouncing ball. Hosey. He's a very, very good player. Stevens caught. Hosey back onto it. Little handball to McBean. This could be something special. A little check side kick. This could be a goal off the ground. It is. A goal to Marlon Motlop. Did it beautifully. Or was it a behind? It was.
Oh.
Well, we thought it went through for a goal.
Yeah, it must have gone to the left of the stick, but touched, I think it might have been. And Lachlan Hosey did the right thing there, Michael. Held the ball in play, was able to get the handball off and looked like a certain goal.
Well, everyone else at the ground thought it was a goal, and I just caught out of the corner of my eye Scott Fisher working the camera beautifully, and he said, no, that wasn't a goal. It was a behind.
I think Fish thinks it hit the post.
Sensational call from Scott Fisher.
It was one of those things too, he felt the pressure even though there was none around him. He could have actually picked the ball up and settled there and put it through, but it went off the ground, and that the uncertainty of that.
Another inside 50, marked this time by Hartlett. See if he can get through this game.
It's a good kick.
Nicely done. And that finds man wearing number 10 in Sam Davidson. Kick down the line. Marshall just went full tilt at it. Handball over the top was nicely done by Cox. Drew opened it up. Attlee now outside 50, sizes things up, goes for home and misses away to the right. So
got a lot of talent, Michael Joe Attlee, and it's taken him a while to get some AFL opportunities. He played last week, but with a few players coming back into the team, finds his way back in the SANFL this week.
Yes, that can happen. It's just the ups and downs, and
yep.
I guess close now. McBean and also Reynolds, a few players out there. Well, the long sleeve Guernseys today. It's what would it be? Cough about 13, 14 degrees. Wouldn't be too much more than that.
Like I wore the long sleeve Guernsey myself from time to time, but I wish I didn't.
This got tackled too easily?
No, just
for other reasons.
Yeah.
So, free kick going to McBean. Started the season off in a blaze of glory, and
he's a big boy, isn't he, Lee McBean?
He is
up around the 200, 202.
Hosey just puts it in an awkward position for Port Adelaide. Tried to hook it in was Jesse White. That's got to be a free kick to Martin Frederick, I think, who's just copped one on the way through.
He's actually stepped up, played mainly under 18s last year, Michael, and he's stepped up to this level really well. Just his pace can just break the game open.
Well, he uses that pace to sneak past and then kicks it out of bounds on the full.
Yep.
So tricky conditions for the players. Crosswind, bit of rain, slippery ball, and it's going to be tough. But there's a nice mark to Bailey. That's difficult to grab hold of. That was a real wobbler, that ball. And Bailey was good enough to take it cleanly.
Yeah, he's a bit too far out, I would say. He's kicking into what breeze there is.
So Bailey he'll have to kick it all of 50. Winds up. Gets a fair piece of it in the end. Kept it sort of lowish, but it just spills away to the right, to the left, I should say. So Port with the early goal to Woodcock, and then a couple of behinds to the Bays.
Both sides have had their opportunities, no doubt about that. The Tigers may have had a couple of goals on the board, but the Breeze, they'll get it back again here.
Well, Hamish Hartlett got a good piece of that, but that Breeze just taking that footy away. Agnew now. He's going to try and centre it up just that little bit more. Up they fly. Ball thumped to the line. It'll be a boundary throw in around about 25 metres away from the goal that Glenelg are attacking at the moment. Yeah,
it looks like it's going to be a low-scoring affair, Michael. The game might open up as we go through and it starts to dry out a bit. It doesn't look like there's any rain around at the moment. There has been a lot of rain even before the game just started.
Ball knocked down. McBean, big pack of players. Sutcliffe just hacked it out of there, only as far as Bradley. Goes back and off the hands and a behind. So Glenelg peppering away, but they've been peppering away from a fairly long distance with shallow inside 50s, apart from the Motlop miss. So Bonner. And now White. So they just can't get it past half back Port Adelaide. So White steers it inside 50. Hosey couldn't take the mark, followed up well. Get out of my way, he said to a couple of his teammates. High kick. It's a real flow to McBean in good position. Just got in front of Riley Grundy. And that high ball, he was able to just arch his back then cover the drop of the ball, wasn't he?
And he was just on the right side the way the ball was starting to fade away, and he just held his ground. And as you said, Michael, just arched his back so Grundy couldn't get in for the spoil.
McBean around the corner. Glenelg get some reward for inside 50, and they get there first. They're 139. Port Adelaide 117. Nice finish from McBean.
And Grundy, who's playing on him, is obviously the brother of Luke Grundy out with Collingwood, who's just about the best player in the competition at the moment. Yeah. And Riley himself is a player of the future. I think he's He's got some real athleticism about him, aggressive at the footy, but you can see out there now McBean has got the height on him and just a bit of experience, but that should be a good duel today. And you can see already he's going back, you know, arm across, body against, and that should be a good contest, that one.
So, good start from both teams. They're on the board. Drew, off the ground, Trengove. Attlee, just used Edwards, just threw it on the boot. Might have been a Glenelg free kick there to Curran, nothing doing. Nice kick away from Scharenberg. He was dealt with after he kicked, or as he kicked, it was high nonetheless, and Timmy Sumner is going to get the downfield free kick.
Well, he's a fair pickup as a mid-year pickup, Timmy Sumner, because he has some real talent. And come finals time with a dry deck at the Adelaide Oval, you're going to see him play some really good footy.
Just knows how to kick a goal. And
yeah, can mark it.
He can. Long kick by Sumner. McBean's the target. One grab, two, couldn't do it. Here's an opportunity. Partington just misses. So 1-4, 10 to 1-1-7.
You can see there again Michael McBean just competing in the air, bringing the ball down, and Partington playing through the midfield. He pushed forward and nearly got one through.
And there's a moment that Cam Sutcliffe would like to have back, and there's a few cameras here today, and he may get reminded of that. Not his best moment. Umpire's blown the whistle. Could be a free kick here, and it's going to the Pies.
Yeah, he threw him out the way, Hartlett, so playing in front, good work there.
Hamish Hartlett. To a pack situation. Ball flicks over the back. Joseph just went to ground with Trengove. Agnew. Gould couldn't snag it. Well done by Johnson with some very quick footwork, but the ball is out of play. Boundary umpire wants to earn a crust. Yeah,
it's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment. That's Sam Royans there. Game number 189 today. I had a chat before the game with Sam. Known him for a long time. Good young guy.
A good effort to be involved in footy, and that's we need umpires. That's important. Scharenberg launched himself forward. Johnson for Port. Joseph went without the footy. Sutcliffe, that's a better kick. Roving it. Like no one can pick it up. Here's Pudney. Away to Marshall. Got it around the body. It'll roll. It won't roll for a goal.
Oh,
gee, it almost did.
Nearly got a bit of a slider there.
He did. Gould was the man to wrap things up at the end.
And you can see Todd Marshall there. He knew where the goals were, even though he wasn't looking at them, and that's his ability playing as a forward.
Yes, you really can't teach it.
You can't teach it. No,
it's a sixth sense, isn't it?
Yep.
So the Bays clear it to the outer side. Partington, little kick. I guess cut the players a bit of slack today, and there's a free kick. Just dropping the footy. And it's against Sam Mays. Hasn't had an influence so far in the game. Scharenberg. They cruise past Motlop. The kick is good. So, what can they do from here? Timmy Sumner. Out in front of Reynolds. Nicely done.
Well, we saw, I think it was Bailey, have a shot from here, but he's passing it off.
McBean.
Oh!
Gee, that's a bit of skill in that.
Yeah, that's from the top shelf, that is.
It's a slippery ball. Got himself a bit off balance. Had to hook it in one hand and then cradled it with the other and took the mark. Liam McBean, that is going to be on the highlights reel this week.
Yeah, and this will be, he's already kicked the one, and this is going for goal number 18 of the season, which will put him equal with Luke Reynolds, and he kicked him the footy. There's my logic out the window.
Yeah. Well, the day's not over yet. Here's McBean from 45. Looks a nice kick off the boot.
He likes it, yep.
He's got a couple. Liam McBean proving a real handful to that young Port Adelaide defence. And I've got to say, just a little bit undersized defence back there too. And I guess Reynolds and McBean are going to be the two go-to players that Glenelg will go to today. Nice kick. Yeah,
and Liam McBean, former Richmond player, and it was a highly touted junior as well. when he got drafted, but he was always very slight. You can see now at 24 years of age, he's just starting to, to grow into his body, and he's a, ripping size.
So, a 16-point lead to the Bays. Rain not with us for the moment. It's on the Telstra scoreboard. High kick, up it goes. Bouncing ball, handball over the top, nicely done. Here's Sutcliffe, goes with a handball this time. Marshall with a spear. Handball comes back out, Woodcock, he's kicked one. He's not going to get a second here. It just flies off the side of the boot. It'll be a Max Proud free kick deep in defence.
One of the best rules I think the SANFL brought in, the last touch rule, just keeps the game flowing. All the players know about it, and there's never any issue. Just play on.
Long kick to the outer side. Kick away. No one can actually get clean possession. Joseph, he might have been driven into the ground. Chalmers is going in pretty hard. Now a quick kick out of there. Bouncing ball. McBean just sort of nudged it on. Hewitt's there. Picked up by Bonner. Goes to the left boot. Into the centre. All done by Bradley.
Yep.
Just to get in the way of Sutcliffe. Bradley out wide. Got a call from Close. He's got a front-on tackle, but nothing doing. Little handball away. Here's Snook. Hasn't kicked a goal this year, Snook. He won't get one here either. Ball was thumped away. Nicely done by the Port Adelaide defence. Matty Snook gets a lot of the ball, but doesn't hurt you on the scoreboard. Yeah,
well, he had his opportunity there. The way he dropped the ball, it was sort of a bit forward the way he dropped it, and it was always going to the right-hand side.
Garner. It's it long. Might have called him as Bonner a moment ago, Garner.
Yeah, played in the AFL, got his first game last week, and he's been in really good form as well at this level. Joel Garner, a famous name.
Yes, played with South Australia.
Yep.
He took the most wickets at that point in time in Shield cricket ever in a domestic season. Joel Garner was up around 60 odd.
Yeah.
Well, 2-5-17 plays 1-2-8 on the Telstra scoreboard. Boundary throw in.
Dallas Huell having a run in the ruck, former Centrals player, played a few league games at the Dogs.
And he's given away a free kick here, Koff.
It didn't look like there was much in that.
No, that rarely is. White. Hoists it high. Up they fly, Reynolds. Flicks over the back, Hosey. What a good man to have on the scout. And Bonner takes it over the line on the full.
On the full.
Off his boot. And looks like Close is the man with the footy.
Yep.
Does he try and centre it up, or is he going to go for glory?
There's no way in the world he's centering this, Michael. He's having a shot. They're practicing this all the time at training. He's given it off.
He's given it off. What on earth is going on?
To Motlop, was it?
It was to Motlop, and he's kicked his second behind.
I think he made the first mistake when he gave it off. Like the guys there would practice those at training. Back yourself in.
Well, Marlon's pulled rank on him there. I've played more games than you. Give it to me. So Bonner kicks into the centre of the ground. Marshall with a good fly. Couldn't take it. Betterman hauled off the footy. Drew. Ball up.
You saw Riley Bonner there, Michael. He's such a beautiful left foot kick. And when he plays across that half-back line, he can sort of break the lines and kick the ball deep inside the forward lines for the Magpies.
Tobin Cox left it. Gregson did it nicely. Motlop, Betterman. Nice little kick. Got a call from Sumner, did Bradley, and just left it. That was good work. Sumner started this game off pretty well. Late inclusion. Hosey. All knocked away from him by Bonner, and then he goes the second knockout off hands. Umpire says throw it in.
And Hosey looks like Cam Hewitt might have the job. Looks like they're rotating a bit on him. Bonner and also Cam Hewitt, who's got a bit of height himself.
The throw in. Hill got his way to the front. Ball just hacked out of there. Might be coming back really quick. Well done by Curran. Got it away to McKenzie. Quick little kick forward by Scharenberg. The ball just carries over the top, might roll through for a goal. No. Luke Reynolds decides to not tackle the goal umpire, and it is a behind. So, wow, Glenelg, 2 goals, 7-19.
Yeah, they're peppering. They've got all the play at the moment, but a low-scoring game. When you don't hit the scoreboard for the 6 points, you keep the opposition in the game.
Frederick with the orange wheels, and they don't do him much justice there.
Sort of kicked the ball. He wasn't balanced when he kicked it. McBean.
Ball still in dispute for a moment or two. Hacked out of there, Gregson. Woodcock. And the crowd, that familiar call of ball just won't go away, will it?
In some ways it could have been called holding the ball because he gave the stiff arm, tried to break the tackle, and they took him to ground, so maybe he had the prior opportunity. Here's
another go for Motlop. And he misses again, so 3 behinds to Marlon Motlop on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. Telstra Store Glenelg, good sponsors. 2-8-20 now. So the long kick out by Garner. In front, Gould couldn't take it. Agnew there at the fall. Might have been a Bayes free kick. Motlop decides on, well, he tried the banana and just got under the belly of the ball, and Pudney was there to clean it all up. Now Trengove, haven't called him much.
No, been very quiet. Have a look at his stats at quarter time.
Been under a clamp from Agnew. A good reading of the play by Scharenberg. Dished it off to Sumner. Sumner now goes long, and another behind. Liam McBean is our player spotlight for ACH Group. So McBean with 2 goals. No wonder he's the player spotlight. He's the man who's doing the damage in the goals department, and the rest of them doing a lot of damage in the points department.
He's a big target up there.
ACH Group do a wonderful job. Here's Bailey. Little handball away. Agnew.
Yep, got
Copped
his
one.
back.
Yep. Yep, well, he was the man tracking the ball, and he was the man who copped it. So Brad Agnew, going back in his early days with Glenelg, just a dour defender.
Yeah, well, he hasn't kicked many goals. He's kicked 15. This is game number 115. Played mainly across half-back, but he played a lot of his junior footy in the midfield, and always got a lot of the footy.
He's kicked 2-2 this year, so he's wandered forward. He's going to have to kick it from 50. Got some nice elevation about it. It'll take some good work on the line. Has it been taken through for a behind? It has. 2-10. 22 on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. That is looking, well, it's looking good if you're a Glenelg supporter in one way, because they're having plenty of goes at it, but they just can't make it happen. McBean with a couple of goals. Long kick by Bonner, and Curran, the skipper, takes the mark. His 100th.
Yeah, they've just locked it in at the moment, Michael, the Tigers.
Curran goes long. Big pack of Tigers. Little handball comes out, and the ball rushed through for a behind. 2-11-23. I don't know that I've ever called a 2-11-23 before.
And you saw Jack Trengove there, Michael. As soon as he got the footy, Brad Agnew applied the tackle. He's got the run with job today.
Yeah, here's Frederick. Clean pair of heels. Kicks long. That's nicely done. And it's been marked by Davidson. So Davidson, where will he go? Decides to split it to the other side, and Cox did nicely. And just scooted away from Joseph. And Tobin Cox, who's been a goal kicker this year for them. 14 goals, 5, the former Bayes player.
Yep, played all his juniors out here. He'll need his best kick from here, though. He'll kick from just inside 50, and the breeze sort of pushing across the ground. But the Magpies, they need this as a bit of a steady. It's been all the Tigers for the last 10 minutes.
Well, the inside 50s would be heavily weighted to the Tigers. So here's Cox from 45. Leans back on the kick. It's doing some work. It's not going to quite make it, and then it's punched to the line. So a behind. So 139, 211, 23, 13 scoring shots to 4. And the lead is 14 points.
Yep.
Crazy stuff. Garner as it flicks over the back. He's quite happy to let it roll out of play.
Just some of the major possession getters so far, Michael. Motlop's had 8, also had 3 behind. Partington through the midfield for the Tigers was 7. Scharenberg's been busy with 6, and then we go down to Riley, Bonner, Joe Atley, 6 and 5 for the Magpies.
Back in. No one can get it cleanly. Bailey. Snook got one in the back, and the umpire was right on the spot. Mays was one of the culprits in there. Also Jack Trengo just says, well, let him go. Matty Snook kicks it wide. Sumner got in good position too. Used his body well, Tim Sumner, but couldn't quite take the mark. It'll be a boundary throw-in. So 2:11:23 plays 1:39.
Probably haven't seen this much firepower on one side for a long time, with Reynolds down there, McBean's also there, Hosey, and now Timmy Sumner as well.
Yeah, it's pretty potent. And then Jesse White can go down there too.
Yep.
So back into the middle. Joseph uses Gould. Gould's got to get round Boyd. Woodcock. Nicely done by White to flick it back. Snook's got to get through a couple. Handball of sorts, and the umpire said dropping the ball. I'm not sure whether that was against Snook or who it was against, but Joe Atley's got it.
Mentioned Gould there before, Michael, who'll play in the SA under-18s this year. He's had a fantastic last 12 months, and no doubt to be looking up to play at the next level.
Very steady player too. Here's Drew, hasn't been able to get into it much. Pudney, back to Bonner. We know Bonner's got a good left boot on him, but there's the man of the moment. Takes the mark, Gould. Partington.
Reminds me a bit of a young Shannon Hearn, Gould.
Yeah. No, it's a good pickup. Yeah, he does. If he becomes half as good as Shannon, here's Gregson. Now Partington, covering a lot of territory. The kick looking for close. Couldn't take the mark. Corcoran was pretty good. Might have copped one on the way through. Hartlett's got to tidy it up. Spins. That'll test the knee. And now Garner. That kick was touched, I think. Little handball comes out. In they go. Motlop will be taken to the line by Drew. Mitch Mead amongst all of that too. Yeah. He'd be Darren Mead's young bloke, would he?
Yeah, he is, I think. Yes.
I think. Yep. Just put you right on the spot there, Cough.
And his other son played in the trial game before this one, played for SA under-18s.
To see them boys coming through. In goes Agnew, head down, backside up, kicked off the ground by Sutcliffe. And the umpire's going to pay a free kick against him for kicking in danger. It's coming back to Marlon Motlop, one of the great names.
Brought his own footy today.
Yeah. Could have had 3 goals, 2 or 3 goals, Motlop. He kicks to the pocket. Hosey can't take the mark. Trengove spins, gets the kick away, but only as far as Agnew. It just got a bit big on him in the end. And he couldn't take the mark. And there's a deliberate out of bounds. And the free kick going to Partington.
So not a long kick, Pardo. Probably look at putting it to the top of the square.
Spot on Cough. Who can take a mark? Hosey will always fly. Sutcliffe fed it out the back to Corcoran.
Just lined up across here, the Tigers.
Yeah. Joseph just slipped at the inopportune moment, but there's been plenty of slipping out there with the rain that we've had. Just barging through was Joseph, and the ball trickles out of play. It'll be a boundary throw-in. We've gone 27 minutes in the first term. It is Glenelg 2:11:23, Port 139.
It's one of those things, the Port have got all their extras inside the defensive 50, and Glenelg have just built the wall with their extras, and they just keep pushing it back in.
Now, Glenelg are wearing black armbands for Don Laffin, a former past player and a life member. That information coming through from Phil Aspinall. So thanks, Phil. So, black armbands. Up they go. White, who's really doing well in the ruck. Motlop, a clever little tap to Bailey. Hosey. Pudney. Bonner. Atley tries to get out of a tricky situation, and then eventually found Hamish Hartlett, who was dealt with after he kicked the footy.
Yeah, against Hosey.
So Todd Marshall's got it. Not the ideal conditions for a player of Todd Marshall's ilk, but he's skilled. And that'll work in his favour.
Yeah, just had to hold it up there, had no one to kick the footy to.
And then kicked it straight to Max Proud. He's having a big resurgence this year. His kick just touched off the boot. Attlee, little handball away. Sutcliffe, he's got to use Pudney. Now back to Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe squeezes to Attlee, wasn't 15. Played on immediately, went to the pocket. Tobin Cox was the target. Now Trengove quickly on the boot, but Gould is there. So the Tigers have all the answers at the moment, but they just can't get it through the big sticks. Gould out to this side of the ground. Corcoran did well to get a hand on that. Little fist, close, just paved the way for his teammate to come through, but it's locked up.
They've got a good mix at the moment, the Tigers. Just having a look at them there. When you mentioned some of their defenders, you know, Proud has had another, looks like he's having a really solid year this year. Gould across half-back, and then they've got the midfield, White and the ruck, and we've already mentioned the forward. So very well-balanced side, the Tigers.
Now the mark's been paid to Frederick here. So he'll go inside 50. Gee, Maggie's would like one before the quarter-time siren. They won't get one here because Reynolds just floats across the back of the pack and takes a safe chest mark. And Partington, who's having a good start to this game, just left a bit of hang time for Aaron Joseph, which allowed Pudney to come in and lock it up. Just a little bit too much hang on the kick.
Yeah, there was. He sort of tried to get the ball on quickly, and he wasn't really balanced and sort of kicked it without even having a step, and it just sort of skied the footy.
Back into play. Over the back. Shark by Agnew. That Edwards tap. Bouncing ball, and there is the siren for quarter time that sees Glenelg 2-11-23. Port Adelaide 1-3-9. And Grant Coffey, it was an impressive quarter as far as Glenelg's concerned in general field play and inside 50, but let themselves down and couldn't get enough.
Hopefully they get to the the league environment at about the age of 18. But yeah, and they've had some good numbers there. I've been to a few of the games where we've called games, and the girls have played the curtain raiser, and there's always a lot of people there watching them as well, which has been fantastic. Because it brings a whole another demographic. Opens up the game to so many more people.
Thanks to Villiers for those quarter-time scores. And 2-11-23, Port Adelaide 1-3-9. Yes, I think the girls have gone through many generations, have been pushed away from our game, pushed right away, and just say you don't belong here. You can have your little so-so competition there if you want to play, but you'll only get to play a la Lauren Phillips. You can only play to a certain age, and then you just go off and do something else. As Lauren did and played basketball, was an absolute star. But good to see that game coming up directly after this at 3:50, South versus North in the grand final of the women. So about set to go here for quarter number 2.
Port Adelaide need to respond quickly here. They don't want the Tigers to get the first one.
We'll get a better measurement of that breeze, perhaps too, Cough. So Jesse White in the ruck. Drew, just a up and under ball. Thumped away. Scharenberg lost control of it. In goes Motlop with a tackle on Drew. Nothing doing there. The umpire calls for it again. The ground has dried out, even though we haven't had any rain in that quarter.
Yeah. And
the ground's just dried out beautifully. You even see it in the middle of the cricket pitch. So wonderful drainage here at the bay. A couple of small little puddles, but not too much. In they go. Partington, little over-the-shoulder handball. Stand and deliver kick out of half-back. And well done by Curran. Just reads the ball so well.
He does.
Joseph out wide, an important kick. On a lead, close, couldn't take it. Ball kicked inside 50. Up they go. Proud got a palm on it. Did nicely. Gould for Glenelg. Got to go back in and grab it all. He could be in trouble here. Umpire says, give it to me.
So a couple of early entries to the Magpies. Just need to be able to clunk one down there. Obviously they've got Todd Marshall down there. Dallas Hill's playing forward at the moment.
Sammy May's the man who pumped that one inside and then gets another crack at it. Partially smothered. Gregson did nicely. Accumulates Gregson. You don't even realise that he's a very handy player. All booted off the ground. Frederick couldn't grab it. Motlop and now Scharenberg off the ground. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. Out the back, Hartlett fed it to Bonner, who just couldn't get a handle on it. Bailey did. Stifled kick. Corcoran caught. Johnson. Trengove got a call from a teammate in Hewitt. He does a donut. It's probably not in the old DVD of how to play Australian rules footy, but tough conditions.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's still slippery.
Wide on the outer side. The hearty souls out there, they're prepared for anything. Those supporters don't care if it snows. They're going to be there. Mays away to Drew. A real wobbly old ball. Joseph just angled his body in front. It flicks over the back. Here's a chance for Woodcock. McCarthy right on his hammer. Attlee got the arms free. Drew had to release over the top to Mays. He's going to get it just inside, and his kick smothered by Motlop. Well done by Motlop. And a boundary throw in. Mays, just to me, just seems to have lost a little bit of his pace.
Yeah, he's just looks like he's just a bit off the pace at the moment. Not sure if he might be carrying an injury or whatever, but hasn't got into this game at the moment. Drew started the second quarter well for the Magpies.
Would be a frustrating place to be if you had a little niggle and you just couldn't get on top of it. Here's McBean. Handball over the top, a couple of base players. Partington's the first. He's going to have a crack at this. Ooh. They register another behind, but that could have been so much better. 2:12.24 on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. Plays 139.
Partington will be another player, Michael, that should poll very well at the Magarey Medal this year, just accumulates the footy.
The Bonner kick goes right into the middle. Big Dallas Hill goes after it. Couldn't pick it up. Very slippery there. Big man wants to leave it up to the little blokes. Drew went off the ground. Kick was partially smothered. He comes in with a tackle and was it's going to be rewarded here, I think. It was an ungainly tackle by Drew. Thought he might have taken a bit of shoulder on Scharenberg, but he's been rewarded with the free.
I'm not sure what opportunity he had, but anyway.
No, sometimes that just goes out the window. Here's Mays. He had a good start to this quarter. His kicking's let him down badly. Here's Proud. Read it nicely, and his kicking lets himself down. And Hewitt goes into Frederick in the centre of ACH Group Stadium. Frederick just cuts right through the centre circle. On a good lead is Marshall.
That's a good kick, that one. He looked for a short option, and it wasn't on. And then he lifted his eyes, and Marshall was able to run into that space, take a nice mark. He's a beautiful kick of the football. The distance shouldn't be an issue for him. Hasn't kicked a goal today, but let's have a look at this one.
What'll he need? A little bit of right to left action?
A little bit of right to left, not by much. Just at the right post.
Just got to kick through it, I guess.
Yeah, you'll do it at this distance.
The ball's just got that little bit of weight about it too, with a little bit of dampness. From right on 50. Just sits it up. Yep, it's beautiful. A good kick. Yep. That is class. We know that he is a level above this, but Todd Marshall gets Port's second goal. They're 2-3-15. And Glenelg, with all its dominance, sit on 2:12.24 on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. Grant Coffey for the SANFL Digital Pass.
Yeah, well, I look at forwards today, and, you know, if I was a forward playing in this game, I'd get so frustrated. And that was the perfect scenario there. A lot of times you'll see the defenders across half-back chipping the ball sideways. They rack up their 25 touches, but half of them are not really worth anything. But that one there was a beautiful kick, 50-metre kick to Marshall, was able to run into space, take a nice mark on the lead and finish off with a goal. Makes it look easy. Yep,
no question. Just use the football by hand and foot and you'll get rewarded. Bonner overruns it. Drew, as you said, Koff, starting to get his hands on the footy. Frederick now away to Hewitt. Just a little ball around the corner finds Scharenberg in the way. Jonty Scharenberg. Let's hope his brother can get back for Collingwood this year. Long kick. McBean on a long lead. Has it knocked away from him, boundary throw in. Matty Scharenberg just, it's just horrendous, isn't it, the run that he's had. And Timmy Broomhead is another one with that terrible leg injury last year. And yeah, difficult for both those boys, but let's hope they can come back. Of course, Tim Broomhead played with the Magpies here in the SANFL, and Matty Scharenberg with the Tigers. White just gets his way in front and did it nice, little palm down. Drew Just read that palm down well. White sort of stands in front and they gather. It'll be a ball up. So the early goal, kicked at the 5-minute mark by Todd Marshall, his 6th on the season in the SANFL. A little bit of sun poking through. Be nice to see a bit more of that. Trengove. Drew off the ground. Benjamin. Little hack kick out of there. Close is in front. Can't complete the mark. Pudney.
Oh, that's a free kick.
That's got to be a free kick. That's got to be a free kick to Pudney.
Yeah, taking the legs.
That's the rule. We don't mind that.
Yep.
Off to Trengove. Trengove kicks to a pack situation. Flicks over the back. Johnson tries to palm off. Tobin Cox. Little kick by Hill. It's a high floater. Marshall can't take the mark. In comes Joseph. Over the top, Benjamin. He's got to hit a target here. Did he have one? It was all 50-50. Frederick playing well. Dishes off to Bonner, who tries to squeeze the kick down the line but lets himself down. Scharenberg, a couple of intercept marks to him. Benjamin running past, gives it back to Scharenberg, who goes to McBean, who takes an easy chest mark. A couple of kicks out from goal. He feeds it into space, and that's a wonderful kick. Lachlan Hosey, well, he kicked it into space and said, run into this, Lachlan, and he did.
And that's really the first opportunity we've really seen him have today to be able to run onto the footy. The kick was a nice one. There was a bit of space in the corridor there, and the leading goal kicker in the competition has a chance for his first.
Let's see what he can do. Lays back on it. Goal umpire. Right. Well, he could almost have applauded that through. Lachlan Hosey gets his first, and gee, I tell you what, the Bay's coaching staff and the players will be happy that that one went through. A succession of points. I don't know how many in a row they kicked, but on the Telstra Store Glenelg scoreboard, it is the Bays 3-12-30, Port Adelaide 2-3-15.
And we've heard his name mentioned so many times with the mid-season draft as a possibility for one of the AFL clubs, which really hurts the local SANFL clubs mid-season, because you think you've got a guy for the year and all of a sudden he might be gone. Obviously they've got Timmy Sumner maybe as that replacement if he does go, but they can get them all on the one side like they've done today. That's going to be a big bonus for the Tigers.
Hosey is the SANFL's Rosie, I think.
Yeah.
He play a similar game, Connor Rosie and Hosey, and it rhymes, and I think that's good. Here's Bradley. Just overran the footy. Marlon Motlop. Bailey. Scharenberg, look away handball. Mays starting to accumulate now. Got it back from Pudney now. Left footer out wide. Trengove got into position. Agnew's been his marksman. Mead got his legs caught underneath too. Did Mead. He'll get a free kick. So they came through the centre of the ground the last time they scored a goal through Marshall, but nothing open to them there. And the kick intercepted. Handball loose. Curran got it from Bailey and squeezed it round the corner. Knocked away by Frederick. Oh, handball intercepted beautifully by Hosey. Kicked inside 50. Might have been Reynolds was the man who did that.
Reynolds, yeah.
And the mark has been taken by Garner.
They look very similar, don't they, Reynolds and Hosey? Same sort of movement, same height.
Wish one of them would have wore a short sleeve today. Mays, another possession to Mays, but he's turned it over. His kicking efficiency is probably down around the single digit, I'd say. Curran feeds it back to Proud. Now to Chalmers. Elliot Chalmers. Pulled the kick nicely. Betterman. And now it falls to Gould. Now Gould's got to hit a target. He's got close. Waiting to run forward was White. He's just maybe going to have a spell now. Kick down the line to Hosey, who goes long. Where's McBean? He's going to fly. Got caught 3 deep. Had to punch. Here's Partington. Quickly on the boot. It curls, but will it curl enough? It won't.
Sure, the Redlegs would have been a bit upset that he didn't return to his former club, Michael, because he would have been a handy pickup for any club, but he's chosen the Tigers, been in really good form.
Just a magnet. Gets where the ball is, as Jack Dyer used to say.
Yep, not where it isn't.
That's right. Here's Frederick, who's had plenty of moments in this game so far, and that's not one of his best, as he picks out Curran. You can see why this man's been made captain of Glenelg. He's just such a solid man.
I think he's taken his game to another level since he's put the number 5 on.
Yeah, he has. Kicks to a big pack situation. Sumner was in there. Hartlett tries to brutalise his way out. And the umpire said, well, didn't do quite enough there, Hamish, and bit of push and shove. And the free kick will go to...
it's Partington.
That's Partington.
Yeah, it is. He's had a few shots on goal himself now. He's hasn't troubled the goal scorers, but he's got a couple of behinds.
Well, he's been thereabouts, no question about that. Let's have a look. What did he do? Missed just a few moments ago. Oh, he hasn't missed this time. Learnt a little lesson from the last kick. And Partington gets his first of the afternoon in the second term. He's 4th of the year, and all of a sudden, it's now out to 22 points.
I mentioned that he's kicked a few points, kicked the 3 behinds, and that's his 16th touch, Michael. So he's on track for a 40 possession game at the moment.
The Telstra Store Glenelg scoreboard, 4:13:37, 2:3:15. Still doesn't look like good viewing. But I tell you what, 17 scoring shots to 5. There's a real dominance from the Bays today. Port just haven't been able to find a consistent way forward in that back line. So disciplined of Glenelg. This being led by Gould and Curran, Maxi Proud.
Yep.
Back in the centre, McBean. Here's Partington. A bit of leather poisoning at the moment. McCarthy. Oh, a beautiful intercept by Cox. Now Cox is a goal kicker. Gets this as a banana. Oh, nicely done by Proud. To outmark a very good player in Marshall and fed it off to Joseph.
Just that experience there with the one-on-one contest, and took a nice mark, Maxi Proud.
Here's Betterman. Spoilt by Woodcock. Play won't go on, will it?
Yeah, it will.
Advantage paid. Marlon Motlop. Here's Hosey. Did he get a run at this? Well, he did. Reynolds tried to read it off the pack. Little kick by Corcoran. Betterman. Scharenberg out to Snook. Snook pulled the kick. Smart stuff. And found McBean. Where are they running? The Bays. McBean's just got a little bit of a hook on it. And just allowed...
Took the wrong option there, Michael. He had Timmy Sumner running into space, but it was looking to go to either Hosey or Reynolds. It was deep in the forward lines, and it was 3 against 1.
And that Grundy, I think, was the man who took the mark. A little short one here now to Johnson. With a little bit of the rain and the hair sort of damp and stuff like that, players running towards you, they can look a lot different. Here's Trengove. Couldn't take the mark. Hartlett got plenty on that kick. It'll tumble its way inside 50. Curran's got to go. Ball just spills out. Mead's there. So too is the man kicking it off the ground, and that was Davison. And a behind. Could have done so much better with that, Port Adelaide. 4:13:37 on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. So Chalmers feeds it out nicely. Reynolds just laconically hits the ample chest of Agnew. Now away to Bailey. Out wide. Sumner's got to run onto this. Picks it up cleanly, and that's excellent. Uses close. Now Sumner again. Goes in short. Ball knocked away by Woodcock, who's been sent back in defence. Trengove. Oh, he just caught flat-footed. Woodcock says, I'm getting it out of here, but only as far as Partington. Well, he's kicked one. Could he kick a second? No. 1 goal 4 to Partington.
1 goal 4, and he's brought his own footy. He needed to steady a bit more than what he did there. He seemed to want to rush the kick, and ended up being like a bit of a helicopter kick and missed it to the right-hand side. He's getting plenty of the footy, though.
Well, we've got to say that it is probably a tricky breeze for the players, but some of them have been reasonably easy. Long kick out to a pack, punch forward. If you're a Port fan. McCarthy got one high. The umpire's going to bring it back. McCarthy in short to Gould, who's just found some space in the centre. Nice little kick, lowered the eyes, found Agnew. Agnew's got Sumner on a lead. He's also got Hosey on a longer one.
Oh, he nearly took that.
Almost grabbed it. He looks every bit. He's going to take every mark he goes for, Hosey, because he gets into good position. Here's Hewitt. He needs some evasive skills here. Brilliant tackle by Close. The old crocodile rolled him. Ball close to the line. The umpire will say, ball it in. Hosey he times his leap to perfection.
Yeah, he does, and like he's pretty slight himself. You know, if he had another couple of years' time as well, as his body develops, he'll start to clunk those, a bit stronger in the contest.
Hill takes it out of the ruck and uses Trengove, and then Trengove tried to get to Pudney, and it just went straight past him. So the free kick will go to the Bays. Inside 50 again. Woodcock got a handle on it. Reynolds went in without it. Partington with a lovely tackle. And not many umpires from there generally give a free kick to the last man standing. No one can really gain a good solid break from that ball up.
They've got some good strong-bodied on-ballers too, the Tigers. And McCarthy, who just saw coming off the ground there, and also Darcy Bailey, just very good in the contest for the Tigers.
Sutcliffe hacked it out of there. He's coming back, proud. Uses a left boot to perfection to find Bradley.
Oh, there's a 25.
And I just thought he just ran off his line, ran around and played on. I mean, I don't know whether we can have to expect players sometimes to be Nostradamus.
It was against Tobin Cox, and yeah, as you said, he was in his space, and Bradley played on and ran into Tobin Cox's space. It's one of those ones, a bit of a grey area for me. I think just play it on.
So Bradley kicked 2 goals, 1 this year, so he's gone forward. Well, a nice decent hook on that. A behind. 4 goals, 15. That is crazy stuff. 38 to 2-4, 16. So bad kicking by the Bays.
Good kick.
It is. Wonderful kick. Handball over the top. Sutcliffe uses Pudney. Now, where's he going?
Oh,
Not really quite sure, but Hewitt is going to fix it up for him. Attlee waits for them all to stream past and then kicks and lets himself down as Mr. Reliable back there.
Yeah.
And he's only a young bloke,
he is,
but he's Mr. Reliable.
Yeah, but he reads the ball so well and uses it by foot so well.
There's another example of that.
But Port Adelaide there need to make more of that forward opportunity there. It was just a kick forward without actually putting it to a teammate's advantage.
Reynolds went a little early, and Hamish Hartlett just stood his ground and took the mark. So Hamish Hartlett should get this pretty deep. Squares it up. Up they fly. Doing the roving was Sutcliffe. Swung. Now Pudney. Left footer
well
is
done.
good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, good vision. And Mead takes the mark about 20 metres out on a slight angle.
Could have blazed away then on his non-preferred left boot and just found a teammate to Mead, and he'll have a shot now from about 25.
Thanks to ACH Group. Luke Partington, no worry there. He's our player spotlight. The goal, mark, 4 tackles, 3 handballs. 4 points.
He likes it.
Mead's kick is on target. Port Adelaide 3-4-22. Glenelg 4-15-39. And that is on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. And it reads like ugly viewing for Glenelg, apart from the fact that they're in front. But Port just stay in touch because of the inaccuracy of
exactly
the
right.
Tigers.
And what Port Adelaide need here is to get 2 goals in a row. So they've got this one here. They need to get a midfield clearance and get the next one just to put a bit of scoreboard pressure on the Tigers here.
So the rain staying away, but the wind has picked up. So we get it from all angles sometimes. SANFL round 8, Michael Maney and Grant Coffey in the SANFL digital pass. White, or Glenelg, knocking it down. It falls to Bradley. Clearance to the Bays. Running onto it is Sumner. Tried to knock it forward, fell in his lap, got his kick away. Bouncing ball. Reynolds. Frederick did nicely. Reynolds with a little kick off the ground. Gregson's got to be clean here because Frederick came at him at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Mays up and under, got the belly of the ball. Drew feeds it out to Mays, who's just kicking for the sky. Got it high. Davison was the flyer. All kick forward. Bailey, pirouette 1, 2, kick, half distance. Drew got to hit a target and couldn't find Bonner. He's in trouble now. Pudney, Atley, Scrappy, Drew knocked it to Hartlett, who off balance kicks a high ball. Now Trengove tries to put some sense back into it. Kick just overcooked. Curran just through traffic. Never flustered. Scharenberg. Chalmers.
Might be one off the ball here, is there? No, it's going back.
And still a Glenelg ball because Bailey had it. So it's difficult to call sometimes. Scharenberg has the footy.
They just seem to have the numbers wherever the ball is at the moment. The Tigers just working a bit harder, working together. The spread is a lot better.
Let's hope they don't just run out of gas. Kick to a pack, and that's a good mark.
Yeah.
Well, Sumner, we know he's got class.
Yeah, but for his first game back, he's been impressive.
Yep. Yep, just looked the goods. Scharenberg took the tops off a little bit of grass there, and then Bailey got one high from Corcoran.
Now, we saw Bailey have a shot on goal, Michael, from further out at the other end, and we didn't think, well, I didn't think he could make the distance kicking debris, so he'll have the journey here, and it'll just be a matter of accuracy. So just to that left post and bring the footy back.
5 goals for this year for Darcy Bailey. On a difficult, wet, soggy Glenelg Oval or ACH Group Stadium. Let's see what he can do. He's going to wind up. Got a nice piece of it. Can they shepherd it on the goal line? Mark has been taken by the tallest man on the ground in McBean. And that's what you get. If they kick it high, all he's got to do is just jump over a cigarette paper and he's got you covered.
Well, that's sort of unforgivable by the Magpies' defence there. He's taken really an uncontested mark, and there was no one coming in to aggressively spoil the ball at all there for the Magpies.
So McBean will get goal number 3 for him for the afternoon, and goal number 5 for the Tigers. 5:15:45 to 3:4:22. Michael Maney and Grant Coffey with you on the 2019 SANFL Digital Pass.
So there we are. We've got now Lee McBean, who's kicked 3. He goes to 19 goals for the season, and he's one behind Lachlan Hosey, who's with his 1 goal is on 20 for the season. Could you get 3 players in the one team kicking 50 in a season? That'd be a fair effort in this day and age.
You've got to wonder where the rest of them are going. Is it all just kick it to me, kick it to me?
Well, why not? If it works, it works.
Well, I'd be kicking it to McBean if I was playing. He's the man with the long levers. Back in the centre. Bradley awaited Joseph, who just pulled the kick. Scharenberg, twisted and opened it up beautifully for Snook. Here's Sumner just floating across, and Hosey might have given away a free kick, or has Sumner been paid the mark?
No, Hosey in the back, the umpire said.
Okay.
And I don't think it was there, to be honest. There was minimal contact. Hosey filled it and just went forward in the contact, and the umpire rewarded the free kick, but I didn't think it was there.
Well, we know he can kick a goal, this bloke. He's such a skilled player. So from about 45, let's see what he can do. Oh, it's just going to work in beautifully. He salutes the crowd and says, thanks very much. I've got a second. And it's goal number 6 for the Bays, 6:15:51 to 3:4:22. Grant Coffey, that has been Port's problem right from the get-go, that forward line, Reynolds, Hosey and McBean, and then throw in Timmy Sumner.
That's right. They just don't have the height to go with them. And you mentioned, Michael, that, we're sort of been around for a few years, but, 20 years ago, that was the norm, that all the forwards would kick the goals. And over the last probably 10 to 15 years, it's been more about sharing the ball around, so you're not reliant on one person. But, you know, if you've got a dominant forward, why not use them?
Yep. Well, Lachlan Hosey just doing it to perfection.
One Tiger down.
Yeah, someone's hit the deck.
Jesse White.
Jesse White, yeah. The bigger they are, the harder they crash.
Looks like he's okay.
Pretty soft in there from the landing. I don't know whether he copped one on the before he hit the deck. But he's back at it again. Motlop couldn't get it. Little handball out nicely to Drew. Drew's chaos ball, marked by Proud, who's really stood up in the last 10 minutes or so. Has denied Marshall a couple of opportunities. And working nicely. So Drew didn't know what was behind him, but kept his eye on it. Took the mark. Now kicks inside 50. Where's Marshall? Ball thumped away. Chalmers ran past it, then left it for his teammate in Bradley, who got it to Joseph off a step. And the struggle between Scharenberg and Drew resulted in a free kick to Drew as the siren goes for half-time at ACH Group Stadium. So Willem Drew,
he wants it.
He thinks he can kick this from about 80. So
goes down as an extra stat too, Michael.
Let's not deny him, but this is going to have to be one enormous big hoof from here.
He's got onto it.
He's got a little bit of barrel about it, but it's actually been forced through for a behind. So 3-5-23 Port Adelaide. Glenelg 6-15-51. So a good lead here to Glenelg, and Grant Coffey has been a pretty willing affair, but the Bays have always looked like they've had it in hand in that first half.
Yeah, well, I think that the kick that the last kick that went into the forward line sums up Port Adelaide a bit, where they're just blazing the ball inside forward 50 and not really putting the ball to Marshall's advantage. And we saw there, by the time the ball came down, the Tigers had got numbers back, and it was 3 against 2 in the end. The Tigers just had more numbers there, and Proud can then just, you know, chop the ball off pretty easy. So they need to work out when they use the ball going forward. We've only seen it once with the Magpies. I think it was Martin Frederick who kicked to Todd Marshall on a nice long kick, beautiful lead, and he kicked his first goal of the game in that second quarter. But the Tigers have had more flow going into their forward lines. Obviously, they've got some more targets down there, those marking targets. But when they've gone forward, they've looked to kick the ball to the advantage of their teammates as well. Now, Michael, let's have a look at some of the major possession getters at half.
We can just saw us just a moment ago, Lachlan Hosey, just his class in piercing that goal through. His second for the afternoon. He's a player who has immense talent, and as I mentioned, he just reminds me so much of the work that Connor Rosie does at AFL level with Port Adelaide Power, and he's plays a similar role here, although maybe flies for marks a little bit,
just
a little bit taller.
A bit taller, but he's more of a natural forward, where I think Connor Rosie, you know, as time goes on, he'll go into the midfield and be a very good midfielder.
Let's get the second half underway. Michael Maney and Grant Coffey with you in the 2019 SANFL Digital Pass. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. Partington's enjoying his day.
That's a really good call there, because I've seen about 3 or 4 of those shovel, not a handball disposals, and the umpire picked that one up.
Well, Hill got the free kick, and there's Curran. We sung his praises in the first half, and he started the second half in good form. Spreads it to Close. Close has got Motlop, but earlier a little bit shorter up, he's got Partington. So Partington thought about going back 15 metres, but decides to kick it down the line. McBean's a target. Hosey has to run onto it, and then just rolls Frederick in the tackle, and it'll be a ball up. So full of beans is Lachlan Hosey. Reads the play well. White and the ruck, they nullify each other, both he and Hill. Sutcliffe probably grabbed without it. Fed out to Close, now to Motlop. Motlop kicks it high. Up they fly. Hartlett did nicely. He's been steady without having a marked influence on the game, Hamish Hartlett.
I think they could even throw him in the midfielders, just trying to get him more involved in the game. We know what he can do back there, but the way that the game's situated at the moment, they could do with his leadership and ball-winning ability in the midfield.
Frederick takes the mark, and off to Bonner, who's got to use his right boot. Keeps it close to the line, off hands.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Once again, on top of Marshall's head, didn't give him an opportunity. And I think it was Joseph there, just came over the back and just sport the ball out of play. So the Tigers get to start again.
Wing outer side. And you can't blame the boundary umpire for that being a little short one.
Well, I think the ruckmen were too far back.
Probably didn't quite get to it. Here's Motlop. Close to the boundary line. Just a handball in hope, really. Garner for Port. Kicks it long. Getting in front was Joseph. Did well. Took the bit by the teeth and kicks it long. Up McBean. Knocked out of it by Hartland. Here's Reynolds around the body. Goal. Well, he used to do that on most afternoons for the Port Adelaide Magpies, Luke Reynolds. He kicks a crucial goal. 7:15 now. The Tigers, they've gone away to 57 and Port Adelaide 23, 3-5. And thanks to Bone Timber for the first goal of the quarter. Bone Timber, just a wonderful company and good to see them really getting behind SANFL footy.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You need the support from the local businesses to keep this game going, and you could just see there, Michael, why Glenelg are being able to, why the big guys have been able to kick so many goals, because the ball went to McBean there and all he did was provide the contest to bring it down, and Reynolds was able to run onto it, and as you know, give him 2 or 3 metres on that left boot and he'll make you pay.
Luke Reynolds, first for the afternoon. Bays are really starting to push. If they get some accurate kicking going in this third term, it could be all over at 3/4 time. Partington takes it to the line. They kicked horrifically. What do they have? 2-11 in the first quarter, kicking to the southern end. They start off with 1 straight. Just got to admire the SANFL fans. They just love it. Bonner almost had his head taken off by Partington. Well done by White. Over the top of the Gould. Here's Gregson. Now uses Bailey. He gives it back to Gregson. Gregson straightens and shoots for goal. And another one to the Bays. Corey Gregson gets his first of the afternoon. And they're careering away with it.
Yeah, and good work there by Gregson. Very unselfish. He gave the ball off there to Bailey. And I don't think the handball was on because he was sort of running into that open goal. Bailey was under that bit of pressure, gave the ball back to him, and then he ran to about 20-25 out and finished for his first goal of the game. So just starting to open up a bit for the Tigers, Michael, in this third quarter.
No doubt about that, Koff. And just the run that they've been able to generate.
Yep. But once again, you could see there that Port Adelaide, with that kick out of defence, just went long to that 50-50. I think it was Joseph who took the mark and was able to, pump the ball back inside forward 50 again for the Tigers. And here they go again. Just
another centre clearance. And Partington says, well, I'm going to get a bit of barrel happening. Corcoran.
Too high against Lachlan Hosey to Garner.
He's had his hands full today.
Just gave him a bit of music around the ears.
Wouldn't be too bad on a cold day like that if your ears were warmed up a bit. Out of play. Boundary throw in right in front of the broadcast area.
And Peter Laddam's going out of this team is a big hole because they don't really have any recognised ruckman. They've obviously got Dallas Hill having a run now, Ben Edwards, but they're really sort of forwards who have been thrust into this rucking role.
Yes, Scotty Lysette upsetting the apple cart there. Trengove, little handball to Drew and taking long to get him on. Oh, Hartlett. Well, how did he part the seas there? And knocked off the kick by Partington and out of bounds on the full. So he stuck with it, Partington, and forced the error.
Yep. And the crowd gave him the cheer.
You love to see that, though. Little kick by Partington, finds close. Stabbing ball. Bradley.
On the outer side here, the Tigers, they're lining up.
Yeah, there's another one over the top if this mark gets taken by Proud, but it might end up with Bailey. And he's caught and taken to ground. Good tackle, a nullifying tackle, and that was well done by Corcoran. And then Bailey gets up and says, well, what about a free kick? Well, it looked like a pretty good tackle to me.
He's tough, he won't worry about that.
Here's Motlop. mown down. Bailey, little hooking ball. Oh, Reynolds. Well, if you get it in quickly, things happen.
Yeah, get it in quickly and play in front as a forward. The ball drops short, and he just reads the ball so well, Reynolds, and a beautiful shot on goal. Spent some time at Carlton on their rookie list.
Well, it's out to 40 points now, and Reynolds says, take a bit of 46 action. 46 points the difference. Goal number 9 to the Bays, and after kicking 11 points in the first term to the southern end, they've started this quarter with 3 straight.
Yeah, amazing stuff, and we mentioned the kick-off before the game, Michael. The 3 of the Glenelg guys who are just about the top 4 of the goal kicking in the competition as it stands at the moment. Hosey's got 2, he moves on to 21. Now Reynolds has got 2, he moves on to 20, and McBean has 3, he moves on to 19. So we've got a real shootout there.
And well, you've got Josh Scott still to come, or is he still around, Josh Scott?
Injured.
Injured.
So
he would come back into this team.
That, yeah. He might have to play across half back.
He might have to. He'll play anywhere, I suppose, to get a run in this team. Here's Agnew now. Left footer. Long piercing kick. It might bounce through. Hey, behind. 47 points the margin. Agnew. Left boot.
You like your cricket. Is that a leg break or an off break?
Well, it all depends. It all depends whether you're a left-hander or a right-hander.
Well, let's say we're a right-hander.
I'd say that's a wrong one. That's an off break.
An off break.
An off break, yep. Oh. But, well, the run in the legs, the Bays are just making it very clean at the moment. Boundary throw in, and the umpire says you just need to perhaps have another wheat
go.
Bix or 2.
Yeah, right against the breeze and that side of the ground.
Yep. Ball just knocked to ground by Grundy.
Looks like they put Grundy into the ruck too, Michael. As we mentioned, they're undersized today, so started at full back on McBean today. Had a couple of goals kicked on him early, so they've thrown him in to the ruck there, and he'll compete pretty hard, Riley Grundy.
When in doubt, throw a Grundy into the ruck. It works pretty well for Collingwood.
Yep.
Here he is at ground level, can't pick it up. Agnew off the ground. Hartlett threaded the handball to Attlee, who had Scharenberg to contend with. And it'll be another ball in. So naturally a lot of play on the outer side of the ground with that breeze sort of blowing through. No windsock here at Glenelg. Maybe it's just blown completely into the stratosphere somewhere.
I think it's still tied down from when Neil Curley was coaching here. I think he might have pulled that stunt one day.
One of many, I'm sure. From Knuckles.
Yeah.
So the Bays are going to get the free kick here. An errant kick out of play. So it'll be hoisted just outside attacking 50. Sumner. Hartlett got both hands to it, couldn't take the mark. It ends up with Bonner. It's a scrubby old ball. Chalmers did nicely to weave his way through. And we have a stalemate and another ball up. So the Bays have started in brilliant fashion. 3 goals.
Not a bad crowd in today, Michael, either, when you have a look around, because it started off with a lot of rain before this game started, which would have kept a few away. But there's healthy numbers down there. I went down in the club rooms at half-time, had a look around, and that was packed. So great to see so many people out supporting Sunday footy in the SANFL.
Well, they've got a good following, the Bays, and if they get on a roll, the crowds will turn up, no question about that. Here's Gould trying to force his way through. Bradley got hammered, got the handball away, Proud. Quick little kick, and that's nicely done. So Gregson peels it back to Proud. They want to switch. They want a bit of freer open space. Aaron Joseph's out there, boy from Strawn. Goes long. Sumner just over his head. Bouncing ball. It'll be a Port Adelaide free kick for last touch.
Now you're going to have to give me a geography lesson here. Where's Strawn?
The west coast of Tasmania.
Right.
It's a fishing port down there.
Back in your old hometown.
Back in the old state. Little kick finds Pudney, yeah, Strawn.
What would you catch there, Fishing Town?
Oh, salmon.
Salmon?
Yeah.
Any whiting down there?
No whiting down there to speak of. A lot of flounder. A lot of flounder down there. Cod. Macquarie Harbour is where it is. Lots of lakes and rivers and all that sort of stuff down there. Strawn, just a beautiful part of the world. Long kick. Hosey just got underneath it. Partington, just a little barrel. And McBean sees it out of play. That should be a Port free kick. And the umpires
said it was touched, I think.
Said it was touched, did he?
Yep. Not sure. Well, who knows? They're closer.
They are a bit closer than us, Coff. Now, can the ruckman get involved here? McBean got a handle on it. Trengove. He's got a lot of this type of possession today, Trengove. Just quick kicks out of congestion. And Chris Curran has taken a sprawling mark, and he'll go back and shoot for goal from around 47, 48 metres.
Been an inspired choice as the new skipper for the Tigers. He's really stands up as a leader and playing across that half back, reads the ball so well. Wouldn't have kicked, what's he kicked? He's only kicked 8 goals. This is game number 100.
Can the skipper drill it home? You bet he can. And they come from the hills. Chris Curran. It's the first goal for him today in his 100th game, and a real crowd favourite too, Chris Curran.
Yep.
And goal number 10 for Glenelg. 10-16, 76 to 3-5-23.
Yeah, and they came from everywhere you mentioned, Michael. And normally the call for the boys out there is, let's get around him. And they got around him in big numbers there. Kicked his first goal of the game in game number 100. Only 9 goals for his career, but what a player he's been for the Tigers.
First goal of the season for Chris Curran, but, well, they've started off in a blaze here. 4 goals, 1. The Bays have really put a bit of a break on now. Drew for Port Adelaide, kicked off the ground by Motlop. Still tracking it, needs a shepherd here. Hewitt gets him. Motlop still trying to hover over the footy. Ball kicked off the ground. Johnson, well, he's been unsighted today. Aidan Johnson hasn't been able to influence an awful lot, but it's a difficult one when you're playing out on a half-forward flank on a wet day.
Yep. One of the problems for Port Adelaide at the moment at the AFL level, they've just got so many injuries at the moment, and that's obviously hurting their depth down at this level.
No question. Here's Sutcliffe, the former Woodville West Torrens and Fremantle player, spirals the ball, looking for Cox. He hasn't really been able to impact today. Tobin Cox against his old side. And Aaron Joseph does a little sprawl. And is the umpire buying that? Let's have a look. He says, no. Boundary umpire, throw it back in. Aaron Joseph disguised it nicely. And a ball in.
Down on the practice wickets over there.
No, neither ruckman can actually get a run on that, and ends up with Frederick. Wants to get a bit of curl on that footy. Here's Marshall, tackled by Proud. And taken to the ground and caught and didn't release. And they also do a lot of that down in Strawn. Catch and release in Macquarie Harbour. Here's Max Proud. Been a good game from him. Kicks it long. Over Grundy. Agnew runs onto it and then just circumnavigates a couple. And then the kick. LBW there to Jesse White. Partington's kick was not the best.
No, he had players running forward there. You had Timmy Sumner was running forward and shanked the kick.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there. Jack Trengove said it came off my hands, but the umpire's saying we're not having any of that. So Finn Betterman. I wonder if he gets Huckleberry. Here it goes. Up high. Almost the mark to Reynolds. Grundy tries the little handball out to Corcoran. Well, the crowd want deliberate, but it'll be a boundary throw in. 10-16, 76, 3-5, 23.
Finn Betterman's another one, Michael, they've been able to introduce this year. Played state under-18s this year. He's been stepped up to the grade really well this year, so he's another player they've found, the Tigers.
Yep, seen him a couple of times this year. Been very impressed with the way he goes about it. Here's Trengo, speaking about impressed, but he wouldn't be too impressed with that kick. And it floats out of bounds on the full, and Agnew to take the free kick. Sits it up high. McBean had a run at it. Bailey, little quick kick out of there. Sutcliffe. Now he's got to hit a target here, Cam Sutcliffe. He's looking for and finds Sam Davidson. Quickly on to Drew. Drew's handball at the bootlaces of Pudney. That won't help. In goes Curran. Slides just off a length if you're in cricketing terms. It's right in the middle. Here's Joseph. Needs to feed it to Bradley. Bradley's got a man out in space in Motlop. He wanted it to sit, but it wouldn't. Corcoran did nicely. Handball over the top. Just got his man into all sorts of trouble, Hewitt. And the ball just briefly went out of play. And the boundary umpire says, give it to me. I'm practicing my throw-ins.
And the Tigers, Michael, after today's performance, you can see why they're at the top of the ladder. And they're going to take some beating this year, the Tigers.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, long kick in. The mark taken by Ben Edwards. So Edwards started off in the ruck and hasn't really probably been able to influence and doesn't really quite know what his role is that much today. It's just been a bit of a gap fill.
Yeah, filling gaps.
Here's Hartlett. Now he's just kicked it, looking for Pudney. Backpedaling, went the one-hander. Almost the rundown. Quick kick forward. Here's a chance for Bailey. Just crashed into Hartlett. Close. Normally clever. Handball over the top to Bailey. What can he do here? Goes with a centering ball, and that's nicely done. And Scharenberg takes the mark and will shoot from goal from around 12 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, fantastic work there by Darcy Bailey. He didn't give up on it. He had the clash there with Hartlett and then went back in after it once again. He could have had a little dinky shot on goal, but decided to centre it. Fantastic work.
Scharenberg lays back and kicks another one. So that's 5 unanswered goals in this quarter by the Bays on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. And it's looking pretty good if you're a Bays supporter. They are just trooping away with this.
Yeah, and they've got some guys there. Some of the young guys are starting to get a bit of footy behind them now. When you look at Scharenberg, he's only 20 years of age, but he's game 49, so game 50 next week, which is a fantastic effort. So he's going to be a 200 game player for your club. Another 12 years at least of footy. So he's going to be one of the greats, I think, out at Tigerland. Maybe a future captain. Yep. I would say.
Well, this has turned into a bit of a pulverisation, isn't it? In these conditions, here's Motlop. Just speeds away. Sumner.
Got collected.
That, Tommy, that was Cam Hewitt, who doesn't like Lachlan Rosie. But I don't know. This is a contact sport. They're not playing netball. Just got absolutely hammered in the contest. Boundary throw in. Hill. We've had a bit of rain today. That might just draw a bit more. Motlop. Ends up with Agnew. Just hoists it high. McBean in the middle of that. Where are the Rovers? Reynolds. McBean.
Done it.
You're kidding me. I'll just hurl it onto the left foot. Our player spotlight player Luke Partington for ACH Group. And rightly so. But I tell you what, Liam McBean's got 4. And when you're having a good day...
You're having one.
My word.
And he moves to 20. So we've got a real shoot-off at the moment. Hosey on 21, McBean and also Reynolds now on 20.
Well, after this game, it is the women's grand final. Phil Aspinall, John Nankerville, Rachel Killian will bring you all the action, south and north. But I tell you what, Glenelg have really put the sword to Port Adelaide.
Well, it shouldn't be able to happen, Michael. You shouldn't have a guy 202 miss the mark, be able to go back on it, pick the ball up and then turn around on the left and kick it through. There needs to be some pressure on him.
Here's our player spotlight man in Partington. That kick's not his best, but it might turn out okay for Bailey. Pudney. Betterman just ran him down. Hill. That's okay. Bonner. Nice little kick into Trengove. Willem Drew, that's a little inside-out banana. Here's Marshall. Marshall now kicks it long inside 50, hoping for a mark. Here's Woodcock, kicked the first goal of the game. Will he get a goal here? Kick was smothered, kicked off the ground by Joseph. Now Mead. Mead's got one, and he turns it around his body. Cox couldn't take the mark, threw himself forward. In goes Woodcock again. Can't release. It'll be a ball up.
So once again, Magpies, a couple of half opportunities there, but Tigers, just the pressure, too great.
A lot of pressure out there today from the Tigers. Attlee, just a kick straight up and down. Woodcock, desperate to try and get it to Mead. Mead, another little half-distance kick, and Gould says, I've had enough of this, and goes with a big fist to the line. Boundary throw.
Has made too many mistakes today, Will Gould, back there. He just plays the percentages all the time. Ball up in the air, just put it out of play, start again.
6 goals, 1 to zip in this term. McBean doing it in the ruck, doing it everywhere. Johnson got it away to Woodcock, who just dropped the footy. Luke Reynolds. He'll be enjoying this against his old side.
Yeah, he doesn't mind to push back deep in defence either to get a couple of touches, which is good, you know, work up and back. Well,
the game has changed so much, Koff. You played...
Well, I never knew what it was about down the other end.
You just had to... You were told by the coach, just stay where you are, son.
Yeah, need someone to kick it to.
And he did it with style. Here's Trengove, gets it away to Garner. Garner inside 50 now. Cox can't take the mark. Recovery's good.
Yep.
Little handball away. Attlee from an angle. And kicks it right across the face, out of bounds on the full. Now, Cox could have had a shot there and then sold Attlee into a worse angle.
I think he probably should have. He should have had the confidence to have a shot. Attlee, maybe a couple of times, just his kickings let him down, Attlee.
Yeah. On a difficult day, mind you. Betterman's kick was smothered. Then Bonner. Mead releases to Pudney. Pudney pulled the kick and then just bounced to Gregson. Gregson steadies and then hits a target. And there's our man, our spotlight man in Partington at half back.
Could have the votes today.
I'm glad you're doing them. Yep. I think it's a reasonably clear cut, but I won't try and preempt. Here's the Magpies through Trengove. Now Hill. Goes long. Johnson. Well, I'm not sure about that. Has he got a left foot? I think he has. But he kicks it behind. First score for the Magpies this term. You say to Aidan Johnson if you were a coach with that particular one, Grant Coffey?
Well, what I would say is you've got great pace. You've got a couple of metres. I would run off.
Yep.
Run for 10 and then steady and have a shot on your right. That's what I would have said. But in the moment, that's what you do. It's the perception of that pressure around you.
It's a game of moments. And at the moment, the umpire will ball it up. So 12-16-88, 3-6-24. I think it was 2 goals 13 at one stage, or 14 for the Bays, and they're making it up in the goals column pretty well. There's that big fist of Gould again. He just knows exactly when to do that. His timing's impeccable, and he, like you said, he reads it extremely well.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd take any trouble stepping up to the next level, Will Gould.
I wonder what club would really be looking at him. It's a luck of the draw in the draft, I know, but be pretty happy to have him.
He uses the ball so well across half-back, and which is what a lot of the game is about today, is a distributor across half-back or someone who can kick the ball in.
Yep.
Especially now with the, you can just run out of the square.
Free kick to Sumner, who's been serviceable.
Yeah, first game, you have to give him a pass mark today.
Looks a little bit fitter than when I think I saw him previously at the Bay a year or two ago. Here's Gould. Nice little chipping ball. Finds Chalmers. Makes Proud down the line. A little hovering ball. McCarthy has to reverse. Gets the handball back to Partington. But I think McCarthy was clipped around the ear on the way through. 26 gone. Hosey. And standing his ground was Garner. The sun breaking through for the second or third time this afternoon. Here's Gould. Look out, Grundy stood his ground. That was terrific work. Now, Marshall. Well, the intention was good, but the execution was not good.
Been the story of the Magpies' day today, just turnovers.
Yep. Well, they've always wanted to switch today. They've just believed they could get Port on the switch on the outer side. They've been able to do that nicely. This is a slow switch, so it's not really going to be as effective, but nonetheless, that's the game plan. Betterman on the outer side in the winter sunlight. It's almost winter anyway. Forced to play on, back to Joseph. So they'll head to this side of the ground. Chalmers got the big lead-up man in McBean. Marshall with the flight did pretty well. McBean with a hovering handball to Gould. He's under all sorts of pressure. McBean has to go back. In fact, it was McCarthy who was in the road. And up all up. Well, they put a nice old stake in the ground in this quarter.
Yeah.
The Tigers.
Yep.
McBean just thrown out of it by Grundy. And that's a bit of frustration, I guess.
Yeah, and good for the percentage for the Tigers too.
Yep. So McBean goes in short and finds man in Betterman. That's a punching kick. Up they fly at the back. Mark's been taken by Reynolds.
Just read it so well. I think it might have been Tommy Corcoran there. Just tried to spoil but got under the footy. And the ball just had a bit more carry on it than what he thought. And when we have a look at Reynolds, he's kicked 2 goals, and he's made every one of them look pretty easy, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. He's got a bit of silk about him, this guy. He's got to kick this from about 40. Not have just dragged it away to the right. So another behind. But the Bay's doing it beautifully at the moment. Bonner pulled the kick. Looking for Grundy. Here's Reynolds again. Can he spear it in? Hit a target. Kicks it long. Up they fly. Ball thumped to the line. Was that through for a behind? No. Out of bounds. It'll be a ball in. We've gone almost 30 minutes in the third term. 12-17-89. 3-6-24 Port Adelaide. It's been...
Hosey not happy there, Michael. He was calling for the ball all on his own 20 metres out from goal, but Reynolds decided to go for the big long one.
Yeah. I'll sort that out during the week.
That's what can happen in these shootouts.
Yeah. Don't want to give it to you. You're a little bit close to me.
Yeah.
So the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard reading very poorly if you're a Port Adelaide supporter at the moment. Beaten yesterday in Launceston against Hawthorn, and we'll have a double dose of it here in the SANFL today. Here's Snook. Haven't called him too much in recent times, but whatever he does is pretty classy. And that kick is just one of them. So Port won't kick a goal in the third term. And Bailey gets an opportunity from 38 metres out directly in front to stick a 7th through.
And he's been busy this quarter too, Bailey. Just hard at the game, hard at the footy.
So here's Bailey. Lays back on the kick. I think it's got enough accuracy about it to drop through for goal number 13 and for the game, and goal number 7 unanswered in the third term. What a quarter by Glenelg, making a real statement in season 2019, that is for sure. And they are on their way to victory in this round 8 clash at ACH Group Stadium. 13-17-95 to 3-6-24. That is the scoreline at three-quarter time. Grant Coffey.
Yeah, it was a quarter dominated there by by the Tigers. Just having a look out there now, interesting, it looks like it might be Hamish Hartlett who's got all the Magpie players in and addressing them before they go over to see the coach, because that's a pretty disappointing quarter there. They look like they just stopped. Glenelg just ran over the top of them and kicked all those goals in that quarter. They just used the ball so well going into the forward lines. Obviously a couple of goals by Luke Reynolds in that quarter. Liam McBean was in the play again with another goal. Corey Gregson, who just has bobbed up when he's needed to today. He's kicked his one goal. Hosey's kicked another one for his two. But Port Adelaide, it's been very slim pickings today. Todd Marshall has been, he started off okay, but you would think Maxi Proud's got the better of him as the game has worn on. And then Boyd Woodcock kicked another goal in the first quarter, but been very quiet and really lacked opportunities, the forwards for the Magpies today. They haven't used the ball well going inside the forward half. Let's have a look at some of the major possession getters so far for the Tigers. Leading the way there, Luke Partington, 29 touches. A couple of his kicks, though, maybe just, I know it's a bit of one of those days where it's windy and it's a heavy ball, but a couple of them there where he's turned the ball over through the middle of the ground. So that's one area that he could probably tidy up on, but he's had plenty of the ball, been very busy, whether it's in defence, forward. He's kicked the 1 goal 4 as well, so could have had a really big day out. Chris Curran, I've liked his game. He's kicked the 1 goal today in his game number 100, had 21 touches as well. Marlon Motlop probably dropped out of it a bit in the second, in that quarter. I think he might have had 8 touches in the first quarter. Well, he's had 19 so far to three-quarter time. Maxi Proud, as we mentioned, has had a really good contest with Todd Marshall, had the 18 touches. Jonty Scharenberg's kicked a goal and also had the 18 touches. And for Port Adelaide, probably their best player. Started off slowly, but worked into the game really well. Willem Drew has had 26 touches. Had him on my Supercoach team at the AFL at the start of the year, and he was playing some.
Did you trade him out?
Yeah, I have. And we can start to see, I think we're going to have some highlights in a minute, but Jack Trengove, he's at 21, but you wouldn't think that he's been as damaging today than what he normally is. And Joe Ackley as well has had the 20, but maybe turns the footy over a bit. Kai Pudney, I really like his game, 19, and Riley Bonner's worked into the game as well for 18 touches. So, but it's been pretty hard work for the Magpies today. Glenelg have won most of the battles around the ground. And as we mentioned, Port going in with not a recognised ruckman today, so they've had some sort of key forwards, key position types playing that role. And, the clearances the Tigers today have really done well in.
And these highlights will be pretty much one-sided when you have a look at it. 7 goals, 2 to 1 behind in that term.
Yep.
And Glenelg doing all the major damage, really opening up the game. Kicking goals from everywhere, and you may see a highlight here with Liam McBean. He'll be spinning around onto his kicking a goal on his left. I'm sure dictate the terms and open it all up, and that is exactly what happened there. Yeah,
the Tigers there, and in the first half it was a tale of missed opportunities for the Tigers, but in that third quarter they really opened the goal up and turned those behinds into goals to really put themselves in a commanding position here. And the key for the Glenelg side, and Coach Mark Stone would have gone out there at three-quarter time to let them know that we want to maintain the work rate. We want to win this quarter. They don't want to just go through the motions and let Port outscore them in the last quarter. They want to make sure that they get some more goals on the board, because percentage could be crucial at the end of the year. And at the moment, they're in a pretty commanding position.
Well, if you are a Port Adelaide player, you want to make your way into the AFL side, finish off. That's what you need to do. Scharenberg out wide. Garner just couldn't collect and then went back and did so. Excuse me. Corcoran. He's got a real high ball and it floats out of play. So, long kick, punched away, Trengove, and the ball is out of play. 13-17-95 Glenelg, Port 3-6-24. Just under a minute gone in the final term. Not sure what Matty Locken can get out of the rest of this game, but you just need some players to stand up, as Grant Coffey said. Stand up and be counted in this last quarter. So another ball up. It's just the way Glenelg went about it, and they just dismantled Port Adelaide in that quarter.
Yep. Yep.
And they've interesting to see whether they can really finish off the job in the last quarter. Then going to take their foot off the pedal.
They've just had the numbers around the footy and used the ball probably a bit better than what the Magpies have today.
Willem Drew, another possession to him. Mays, he's just really had a few possessions but no impact at all. Just a high kick. Hewitt, good stretch, did nicely. Wheels onto the left boot, kicks it high. One for the high flyers. Who's the crumb? Well done by Chalmers. Way by McCarthy. Kicks okay to close.
Been pretty good today. Been busy, close.
Oh, they've all chipped in.
Yep.
There wouldn't be a player out there for Glenelg that you'd say has had a dirty day. Close has pulled that kick, and that's a mark.
Yep.
You'd have to pay that to Hewitt.
From North Adelaide Junior, George playing at Sydney.
Yeah.
His brother.
Injured too the other night. Let's hope it's not too bad. Here's Joseph, ducked the head and got tackled to the ground.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yep.
Took him on.
Yeah, when you take him on, that's what can happen. And a free kick. And it'll go to Aidan Johnson.
Had a quieter day. Hasn't had the opportunities that he would probably like, but an opportunity for his first goal of the game.
Well, a lot of the scoring been done at that end. Here's Johnson from 40. Sits it high. He's got it straight. Yep. He likes it. So the Magpies get their first goal since the 20-minute mark of the second term. And goalless in that third term. So they go to 4-6-30. Glenelg 13-17-95. So, well, Johnson not restoring any credibility at all. They've got a long way to go for that, but he gets his first.
Yep. Yeah, and it was a good tackle by Johnson. Also helped out there by Todd Marshall in the tackle. Umpire awarded it, took the tackle on, and that was his prior opportunity. And a good start of the Magpies.
Back in the middle. Grundy flew high.
Did all right there.
Yeah, did okay. He's got a good leap on him.
And a lefty as well.
Yeah, the old left Duke. Here they go again. Bit of body work. You'd think White would win in the body stakes. Drew can't take it with him. And we get another ball up. Bright sunshine now. Let's hope that rain stays away for the women's final. Straight after this. White and Grundy. Sharked by Curran. Dropped it on the boot quickly. Here's a go for Reynolds. Just turns it around the body. Hosey at his bootlaces. An awkward one. Corcoran did nicely. Clears from half back. The kick down the line. Just over the top, and a free kick will go against McCarthy. And we'll come back to the Magpies. Down the line. Johnson. No one can really shake their way clear. Cox did nicely. Grundy. Mays, the kick really in a jam there. And it'll be a ball in. Boyd Woodcock looks like he's put a bit of beef on Boyd Woodcock from last year.
Yeah, no, he's about the same size, I think. Yeah,
just looks different in that Port Adelaide
right.
jumper.
Yep.
I don't mean that in. I just mean just solid, bit more muscle maybe. Here's Bradley. Into Matty Snook's stomach. In a lot of players around this football. It's just a bit of a rolling maul at the moment. Another ball up here. You don't want to be the man who's on the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, well, you're normally trying to give a free kick here just to separate everyone out.
A lot of players around this footy. Ruckman don't even get a chance to knock it out. Agnew. And another ball up. So play going nowhere for the moment. Just a bit of an arm
It's interesting with Jesse White. He probably came to the club expecting to play as a key forward, but the way that it's sort of worked out now, all the forwards that the Tigers have, he's playing in the ruck.
Well, a little bit of a trip in there is going to Bonner, but I tell you what, he's found a spot there in the ruck. I think that's his.
Well, he's mobile as well, and he can take a mark, so get a bit more involved in the game.
Bonner goes long, very long.
That's a mark.
Extraordinarily long.
Yep, at the back.
And the mark's been taken. Is that Cox?
It is, Tobin Cox, the former Tiger Junior.
So right on the goal line, Cox kicks the goal, and the Magpies have got 2 in this final term.
And Mark Stone, the Tigers coach, wouldn't be happy to let Port Adelaide kick the first 2 goals. And Tobin Cox, one of the strengths of his game, he's 179 centimetres, so under the old 6 foot, so that's about 5'10". He's very good overhead, can take a nice mark, and he flew at the ball there, just judged it a bit better, and took a nice mark right on the goal line. I'm just having a look there. I can't see Timmy Sumner down on the bench. He's not out there, so not sure if he's injured himself, Michael, or what the story is there, so we'll just keep an eye on that.
Don't think he's been out there in this last quarter.
No, he hasn't.
Coff's a pretty good pick-up by you. Back in the centre. Grundy got that down nicely. So away goes Mays. Kicks it long, and trying to run onto it was Johnson, but that ball is out of play, so it'll be a Glenelg free kick. Gould quickly on to McCarthy. McCarthy goes in short to Gould, just missed his target. Gould's going to have to do some fancy work here. Wants to push off Marshall. He's a strong player. And Bradley takes a mark. There's strength again over Hewitt.
And I will go, he's only 18 years of age too. You can imagine when he builds his body up.
Yeah.
Just a kid at the moment. Doesn't make many, as we said, he doesn't make many mistakes.
Marshall's only slight, but he's had a few pre-seasons to build up a bit of strength. Here's Max Proud. Down the wing and the outer side. Grundy just judged it well. Ball was just dropping and just fell into his lap. Here he goes. Awkward kicking style. Kicks to a pack. Ball thumped away by Proud in the middle of that and goes to the line for a boundary throw in. 13-17-95 to 5-6-36. So a couple of goals in this term at the 3 and 6 minute mark to Johnson and Cox for the Magpies. It's their score up semi-respectable. If you think 5 goals to 3/4 times respectable, but a bit more respectable than what it was. Hill reaches over the top. Now White got a boot on it, close. Had to release quickly. Bonner, he's a left footer but uses his right. Hoists it high. From the back, Davison's got to go to the thump. And another ball in. We're about 25 metres around from the Magpies' goal. It's pretty much been exclusively, almost exclusively played in the Magpies forward line, as spotted a player coming back on, Koff.
Yep, Timmy Sumner back on, which is good news for the Tigers. So haven't spotted him for a while, but back out onto the ground.
Little hurry kick out of the congestion there.
Looks like it's Lachlan Hosey coming off for a spell.
Yeah, they're getting a bit willing over there, just near the
now,
fence.
I'll tell you a funny story one day. I was standing exactly where that ball was, Centrals v Glenelg. The ball went over the line, and one of the ladies who was sitting up against the fence donged on the head one of the Centrals players with her umbrella.
I thought she was going to say she threw a scone at him or something. Donged him on the head with the umbrella.
Yeah, I reckon it was Michael Wright, number 12 for the Dogs, who played some state footy as well. And yeah, one of the funniest.
Right down in that little pocket right near the goal post, point post.
I used to go from goal to goal in those days, watching the forwards play, and I was down that end, and the ball went out of play, and he went to pick up the ball, and she donged him over the head with the umbrella.
Oh dear. Well, what would be the uproar of that today if that ever made the social media? Ban that woman for life.
It was all in good fun.
Here's Partington, who's had, speaking of fun, he's brought his own football today, Partington. Goes to Proud.
Oh, that's a good tackle.
Yeah, it was too. Went right at the hips. Here's Hewitt. Tries to force his way through. Can't get there. Partington again. Uses his right boot close to the line. Did Hosey keep it in? In fact, it was Reynolds. Didn't quite keep it in. And it'll be a boundary throw in.
Probably should have, he did in the end, but probably should have just taken the ball out then, reset, because not sure if the Tigers had any numbers forward.
No. But here's the reset. Boundary throw in. Bonner looking for Woodcock. Well done by McCarthy. Lost the handle on the footy, but still got his boot there. Garner just ducked. A little quick kick out here. Might be okay. Or will it go out of bounds? It does. So on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard, it is 13-17-95 to Glenelg, 5-6-36 Port Adelaide as Bradley kicks long. Oh, big leap by Hosey, and then straight to his feet. Didn't fall over and just kept going. He's got amazing balance. Big fly and just kept going.
Yep.
They hustle each other in the ruck. Grundy's been okay in the ruck. He's competed. Yeah, he has. He's given them something. Scharenberg, little handball, bit of a hospital one back, and they're all mugged, and it'll be another ball up.
Not sure he played much footy as a junior, so he's come across late to the game, so he'll get better the more footy he plays.
Yeah, a bit rough around the edge, but you can see there's something there.
Yep.
Bonner, little left footer. Hill, nice pirouette, lost it in exchange. Chalmers, back to Joseph, who's got to measure this ball really neatly and does too to Snook, and he's got Agnew running in a bit of space as they try and switch. Will they come back corridor? Not sure, they do. So Curran, almost true centre-half back position. Curran wants to get it out wide. Drew read it well. Bradley couldn't get there. Drew got a fingernail on it and it just rolls out of play. Well, Port will stay in sixth, no doubt about that, and Glenelg will stay in first.
With some percentage.
Yeah, in this weird split round that we have.
Yep.
First round starting on a Sunday.
It is a bit different. But,
a little different. Here we go. McBean in the ruck. Bradley held without it. Quick little kick by Partington. High ball. Close couldn't take the mark. Here's Grundy again. Scruffy looking individual, Grundy, but been effective today. McBean probably got that. Bonner sharked it. Here comes Pudney, ends up with Mays. Now back to Frederick. Frederick out wide. Woodcock just scooted away from him, and Joseph did the hard yards and got it to the line.
Might be tough for a while for Sam Mays to work his way into the AFL team. Oakley's been a bit better in this second half. Started off a bit quiet, but
what's he got that they haven't got already? That's where's the X factor for Sam Mays?
He sort of played his most of his time at Brisbane at half back, but as I mentioned, he started as a forward. But can be one of those players that could probably go in and slot in a number of different spots.
Yep. Now the umpire's paid. Has he paid a mark to Marshall, or a free kick, or a free kick to somebody else? Looks like it's going to Johnson. Must have been just buffeted out of there.
Pushed in the back, I think, was the call.
So Johnson's kicked one in this final term at the 3-minute mark. Let's see if he can snag another. He'll kick it from about 40. No angle to speak of. It's working its way back. Goal umpire's pretty happy with it. Raises the two fingers, and goal number 6 now for Port Adelaide. 6-6-42 to Glenelg, 13-17-95. They haven't scored in this term yet, and we've gone 15 minutes. So Port Adelaide have stemmed the bleeding, so to speak, but the damage has already been done.
Yeah, well, we're sitting next to the Glenelg coaches box. I just looked over there now, because if I was coaching the Glenelg side, which Mark Stone is, I don't think he'd be that happy at the moment, because he's allowed 3 goals to 0 when you've really dominated this game. It looks like they've just taken the foot off the accelerator here and just stopped, which, you know, can happen when you've dominated a game and you think you're in a winning position. You just ease off, but Port Adelaide just making the most of their opportunities. 3 goals already.
Tough conditions too.
Yep.
Bit of wear and tear in the legs, but that's for both sides. Here's Motlop. A little banana inside 50, and Corcoran just stood his ground and took the mark. Sumner thought he got a fingernail on it and was wanting to go on with it, but they generally pay those. You'd have taken a fair few marks, Koff, that would have been touched just prior to you getting your hands on them.
A lot of them I wasn't paid either.
Here's Motlop. Goes long, hoping for a mark. Doing the roving is close, front and square. Timmy Sumner hasn't kicked a goal today. We know he loves to kick them. He won't get one here. It's been marked by Mays. Goes out wide. Cox in front. Got a nudge. Oh, there's just a little bit of not much game awareness there by Mitch Mead.
Yep.
And he got rounded up pretty easily. Snook. That's not his best kick, but Jesse White comes out like a steam train, runs out of real estate, and you throw it in.
They've given Jesse a bit of a spell now. Liam McBean's gone into the ruck, and Jesse said, "I'll just go down to full forward and show you how easy this caper is."
You want a goal, coach? Just get me down there. Been very good today, Jesse White in the ruck. McBean, Atley releases the arms. Oh, free kick. For sure on Betterman. Drew might be brought back 25 as well. Bit of frustration by...
Yeah, but it was one of those ones.
Redhead.
He's got two Glenelg players pushing him. He's pushed one back in a bit of retaliation. I'm not sure that we needed a 25. He would have made the distance anyway, but it was just professional the way he went about it. He got him high, but he actually dropped when he saw the tackle coming. The knees just dropped and... just took the tackle too high.
I think Hamish Hartlett had the same viewpoint as yourself. Here's Betterman. Hasn't kicked a goal this year. Finn Betterman gets his first. That may well be his first goal.
It is.
In league footy.
Yep.
Well done to Finn Betterman. He's been a consistent performer today for the Bays. They get goal number 14 on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. 14-17, 101 to 6-6-42.
Yeah, good work there by the Tigers, and just to keep the pressure on. They obviously had a good clearance there from Marlon Motlop, pushed the ball forward. Good attack on the ball by Jesse White. Now Liam McBean's gone into the ruck, and it looks like Luke Partington, who's just had a bit of a spell, wants to come on just to confirm the 3 votes. I think get another couple of touches. Yeah, well, the whisper had got around that you had him in the frame. Well, it's an interesting one because maybe the two guys were standing each other with Trengove. I think Trengove's not going to be in the votes today, but no, it's Partington. Been a quieter one for Trengove. Yep. So the kick out wide is taken by Mays. He'll probably rack up some reasonable numbers here at the end of the day. Kicks long to the pocket. Hill. Mark. Nice mark. Just held his ground. Dallas. And the umpire just said, well, don't creep around on a better angle here, Dallas. You just need to take my instruction, and he does. I don't want to put the moz on him, but he's a beautiful left foot kick, Dallas. He's been playing up at Clare this year. Well, here he goes. He's going for a Bunana, and he gets that one home. Good result for Dallas Hill. He's tried really hard today. He's been in the ruck. He's been up forward. Nothing much has really worked for him, but he gets Port Adelaide's 7th goal. They move to 7-6-48. Glenelg 14-17, 101. He's really a natural full forward, Dallas, and unfortunately, you know, as one of their additional players, he sort of has to play the role that fits the weekend. So with Todd Marshall playing today, he's got to play further up the ground, or even as we've seen today, in the ruck as well. But he's that lead up full forward. He's got a beautiful kick. We mentioned Sam Mays was racking up some stats, and there he is, a spotlight on Sam Mays. Second half has been pretty good by Sam Mays today. Yeah. Hewitt away to Atley. So Sam Mays, our player spotlight man for the final quarter. Here's Pudney. Got it away quickly. Just a drilling ball. He must have been disposed of after he's kicked it. FAD. So. And Boyd Woodcock will take the free kick. The orange boots, Michael. What would you roll with if you were out there? Would you go the black, the orange, the lime?
I'd be on a white number.
The white?
I think white would be my preferred choice of white or blue. A pair of Puma blues there at one stage. Even way back then. Here's Woodcock. He's got a lot of distance in it, but no accuracy.
I know exactly the ones you mean, those Puma blues.
Yep.
They had all the different colours.
Yeah, they did.
They used to have all the a lot of the AFL colours. I remember a lot of the players at Centrals used to wear the blue. Might have been a red and white sort of number.
I think North Melbourne might have started a little bit of that.
Yep.
In the VFL as it was back then.
Yeah.
Just back in those days when I played. Goodness me. Yeah. Dark ages. So Edwards. Been a bit of a nothing game from Edwards today. He's been caught right in the crossfire, really. Here's Hewitt. Just a wobbly, tumbly old ball. It flicks over the back. Who's going to be first there? Max Proud just says, I'm just getting that thing over the line. And we'll just reset.
Going to start to think about the 3-2-1, Michael. Some of the players have been in and out of this game today. But that doesn't excuse us from having to make the call.
No, well, that's why you get to make that call. And looks like Tobin Cox is going to add to his scoring tally.
Now, you can always guarantee, Michael, when I do the votes, there's someone over 6'5" in the votes.
Well,
I gave earlier in the year, I gave Peter Laddams had a fantastic game, 2 goals and 20-odd touches, BOG, and he didn't get in the advertiser best 6 the next day. I couldn't believe it.
Warren Partland, you hang your head in shame. And Tobin Cox, hang your head in shame.
And I did let Warren know, by the way, when I saw him the next week.
Well, Cox normally pretty assured. So here's Chalmers away to Proud. Big high ball. Grundy couldn't take the mark. Been singing his praises in the last few minutes or so. Riley Grundy.
I think that's a way that they can really start to develop his game, maybe to give him a bit of a run on the ball every now and then, because you're around the footy a bit more. You know, you're not just sort of playing a lockdown role on the key forward all the time. You know, You can get around the ball, get a bit more of a feel of it. And, you know, as we've seen here, he doesn't have the real big monsters that you'll get at the AFL level here. So it's a role that he could play.
He'll learn a bit of, he'll learn all about it, doing what he's doing. And it's a good move by Matty Locken, I think. There's Partington. Might just push the icing on the cake. Oh, almost a free kick to Hosey. Nothing doing. Frederick, well, he just pulled up in the end and got tackled. Yep. Well, if he kept on sprinting, it'd been okay. When he pulled up, they grabbed him and he dropped the footy. So McBean. Short little half-distance kick. Reading it nicely. Zatley knocked it away, chased it, got it back. Bonner. He's really done an awful lot today. Garner. It's been a dirty day for the Magpies, really. Here's White. It's been solid in the ruck. Hosey couldn't take the mark. Good knock away by Hartlett. Had his hands full down there, Hartlett. Mead. Oh, a little bit slow again. Here's Reynolds. Here's close. Handball over the top. Marlon Motlop runs into an open goal. And there's a little bit of icing on the cake if you're Barrack for Glenelg. 15-17, 107. The 7-9-51.
Well, that's the goal that I marked him down for in the first quarter when we thought he kicked it and it brushed the post. So it's taken a while for him to get that one back, but he does so in time on this last quarter. And he's been a pretty busy player today, Marlon Motlop, and can play through the midfield and push forward and kick a goal. So that's a good finish for him.
56 points the margin now on the Telstra Store Glenelg scoreboard. So getting a little bit dark. Grant Coffey, I think we may be in for
some more rain.
A little bit of rain before the girls do their thing after this. Of course, South Adelaide and North Adelaide and the women's competition. The statewide women's comp. And a bit of shepherding here. And it's going to young Grundy, so he'll be happy with that. Little chip finds Hewitt. So Hewitt to Pudney. Pudney wheels on the left. Mays swings, kicks long. Good penetration in the kick. Max Proud gets back and takes the mark. Well, Todd Marshall's just not been able to make it happen today, and Max Proud's done a pretty good job on him.
Yeah, no, he has. But just, you know, that kick just tells the story as well. The kick's been on his head all the time. He's just too experienced, reads it well.
Here's Hamish Hartlett. Finds a bit of space and drills a lovely goal.
Yep.
Well, you called for it a lot earlier than...
It's too late.
We're 26 minutes into the final quarter. Hamish Hartlett just drills a goal. It's back to 50 points. And a wonderful kick from Hartlett.
And we know he's a class player, Hamish Hartlett. We know he plays half-back. But, you know, when your team needs something in the midfield, just a bit of a spark there, someone who can kick over the lines or get hold of the footy, he's probably one that they could have looked to probably roll through the midfield there during the course of the day.
Well, I tell you what, he just made it look so easy, Hamish Hartlett. A lot of class there. Let's hope he can get back and be influential for the Power as the year goes on. 15-17, 107, 8-9, 57.
You would think after today, you know, he's been pretty good today, serviceable, and Port Adelaide coming off a loss. He might get back in next week.
Yeah, definitely a chance. Here's Sutcliffe, the skipper. Had to paddle to that man, Hartlett, who throws himself in. Tackle, Drew, Pudney. Did it nicely to Bonner as the rain starts to pelt down. Bonner goes long, looking for Cox, but Curran gets back. Just done everything right back there to this man in Proud, who's been terrific as well. His kick out in front. Well done by Scharenberg. To Gould. Joseph back to Gould. Cool in a crisis. And Reynolds a long way from home. Goes long. Sumner, what can he do? Got his body in front. Frederick did nicely. Timmy off the ground. Hartlett. Gee, it's bucketing down.
It's pouring.
That's a fairly decent shower. And Tommy Corcoran does nicely.
The Tigers might have the best two defenders in the comp at the moment. I hope I'm not selling anyone short, but when you look at Tommy Curran and also Max Proud, they're just about, as a 1-2 combination, very hard to beat.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Here's Pudney. They've been on display right in front of us today, and they haven't put a foot wrong.
Yep.
Frederick in the centre. Just a wobbly old ball. It's pretty greasy at the moment. Here's Mead. Just speeds away. Drops a little pass in. Nicely done. Frederick gives it back to Atley, and Atley just kicks it into Snook. That was a wonderful smother. Ball goes out wide. Woodcock just says, well, I'm just hacking this off the ground. Cox, Agnew, Gould with strength. And maybe a throw, was it? I think it might have been a little throw. A bit of a bar of soap there, and Woodcock's going to be the man to get the free kick as the rain just absolutely buckets down again. What do you think from here? Boyd Woodcock, will he be able to see the goals?
I think he'll kick it because he'll be relaxed. It's the end of the game just about.
Woodcock.
Let's back him in.
We'll back him in. Well, it's taken it across the face and it's punched through for a behind. So 49 points the margin now on the Telstra Glenelg scoreboard. So Chalmers waits, kicks it high. A mark taken by Close. I like the way this bloke goes about his footy, Close.
No, he's been good today.
Bradley at half-back. He wants to switch to this side of the ground to Chris Curran. And they're just going to milk the clock down a little bit here if they can. Maxi Proud racking up the stats. That had a bit of hang time in it, but Lachlan Hosey got down the half-back to provide something. It's getting a bit cold up there in the forward line, so went for a bit of a shuttle run. The kick is out wide, and Gould tried to con the boundary umpire. There was nothing doing there. So a little short kick. And
There couldn't be too much time left.
Jocked off by Bradley. How many goals have we had? 2, 3, 4. Well, they've kicked 5 goals in this last quarter, Port. So there's been 7 goals kicked in the term. Big pack of players. And Close is on the bottom of that. Where's the mercy rule? Where's the hooter?
And we've got to walk back to the car.
And there it goes. A brilliant win. 15-17, 107 to Port Adelaide, 8-10, 58.